present for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Nigeria, reaching you on leadership celebration. My name is Winifred Ugabo and it's my pleasure to anchor this program this morning. We're still in the festive season, so I'm still apt to say happy holidays. And with me today in the studio is our public affairs analyst, TV host, and a columnist, Mr. Jideojo. Mr. Jideojo.
Winifred, compliments of the season. It's 72 hours to the end of the year. I pray that all of us will witness year 2022 in good health and wealth.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, always a pleasure to do the show.
We're going to be reading some papers this morning, and of course, we'll also have a focused discussion on the APC government and its anti-corruption fight in 2021. As the year is running to a close, just like you said, about less than 48 hours, 24 hours actually. So we want to be discussing how the APC government has fared in its corruption mantra, which used to come into government about 6.5 years ago. So before that, let's be looking at some headline newspapers. And we're starting with the nation's most influential leading newspaper, Leadership. Leadership says Southeast political bigwigs are in 2023 presidency. Southeast political bigwigs are in 2023 presidency. And of course, on Leadership newspaper today, it has some pictures of some Southeast bigwigs. And on them we have production. On Leadership, still on Leadership newspaper, let's have a focus on the yes. We have Mogalu, we have pictures. On the pictures, we have Oham Bua, we have Peter Obi, we have former Senate President Fayez Ayim, we have Najuiba Onu, Okorocha Kalu, and Umahi. These are pictures the Leadership newspaper for some of the bigwigs that are in 2023 presidency. From Leadership, we are moving over to the Punch newspaper. Perhaps, Mr. Jideojo, you have something to say about Leadership?
Yeah, it's interesting to note that about 8 heavyweights are already eyeing presidency from the Southeast, and it's their legitimate right. I have thrown my weight behind the Igbo presidency in 2023 for purposes of equity, justice, and fairness. I looked at the political landscape and I said, look, the Igbos have been highly marginalized politically. And yet they are contributing so much to the economy, running of Nigeria's economy. Aba, Nnewi, Onitsha alone, if you know the trade volume in those 3 trade centers, you know that those and Alaba in Lagos, they run the show. They run the show, even in Oshodi in Lagos. They run the show, and they have contributed and still contributing so much. So why can't we have the kind of arrangement we had that led us to Yoruba presidency in between 1999 and 2007? Why can't we have that kind of political engineering that will cede power to the Southeast for 2023, so that equity, justice, and fairness will. Because I believe so much, Winifred, that if we do that, all this Igbo marginalization, issue around IPOB, agitation, self-determination move will just die a natural death. Because what else will you say you want? Have you heard the Niger Delta people say they want out of Nigeria again? But for many years, Niger Delta vendors meant movement for the emancipation of Niger Delta. Before the emergence of Dr. Goodluck Jonathan as the vice president and later president of Nigeria, they were all over the place saying that they want out of Nigeria because they felt that the system, Nigeria's political system, was not fair to them. But since an Ijaw man became president of Nigeria for at least 5 years, that agitation has died. Now they are talking of economic justice, not only not political justice again. And that's what will likely happen if we are able to bring an Igbo president on board in 2023. Because any of these eight, from Peter Obi, who was a running mate to Atiku Abubakar in 2019, to Dave Umahi, who is a two-time governor, down to the Senate chief with Senator Orji Uzor, another two-time former governor of Abia State, down to Habuwa, and several, Iwajuba, I think is a current minister, and so all of them are quite eminent and capable to run this. And one thing about politics is that politics sometimes throw up a dark horse. People you never even believe will have the opportunity. Nobody saw a Yemi Osinbajo as a vice presidential material in the lead up to 2015 election. But his name got mentioned somewhere.
However, but if I may chip in, the Southeast, do they really have that cohesion, that unity to pull it through? Because
forget about look, was there cohesion in Southwest when we had an Yoruba presidency? Did you know that the Yorubas voted for Olufalaye more than they did vote for Obasanjo in 1999? But that still didn't make Obasanjo not to be the president of Nigeria. The issue about cohesion, when you see, if the power is ceded to the Southeast, you will see that cohesion that you have not seen before. I know the Igbos have this cosmopolitan, or what do they call it, as a follow, the kind of, they don't believe so much in monarchy or one centralized leadership, unlike the emirs of the north or the yes, which is why they did direct through there. They couldn't do indirect through because the system in the south is quite different. So they have to do direct administration. The district officers were directly managed. But in other parts in the north, it was indirect. In the southwest, it was indirect. So what I'm saying invariably is that let's leave that out of the equation. If you go numeric, if you go by the population, Igbos will never be president of Nigeria based on population size because the population is very small. They have only 5 states as a geopolitical zone, and most of the Igbos are not even at home. This is, if you go and take, Winifred, go and take Igbo census in Igbo land in this period, you will see that strength, that numerical strength you think is not there. Because they are very emotive to their communities. Yes. During the festive period, end of the year like this, at least for 2 weeks or 1 week at the very least, they are almost. My landlord in Abuja is an Igbo man. He has traveled with his wife family. They are all there now to come back in New Year. And this is a period we are saying there is no money. I couldn't travel because I don't have money. I don't have money. But this now went with his family. All of them are there. And that's how they come from diaspora to celebrate Christmas, particularly Christmas and New Year. And then they take off again. But what I'm saying is that unless there is a affirmative action to say, let the Igbo person become the next president, they may never smell president.
Yes, because you mentioned the strength, miracle strength. When Goodluck too became president, the Niger Delta, they don't also have. They did have, but it was that affirmative action that let's power shift to the. So that's the kind of political engineering I expect our political gatekeepers in Nigeria to do ahead of 2023 to say, let power shift to the Igbos. At least for the next 8 years. The life of a nation is eternal. You understand?
and it can move from Igbos to Northeast in the next by 2027 or 2032 or whatever it is. But for you to think you can scheme out the Igbos or make them to continue to play second, because what happens, Winifred, what will likely happen is if Igbos doesn't get presidency in 2023, they can also not get vice presidency.
Yes.
Because what you cannot have, for instance, a Yemi Osinbajo as the presidential candidate of APC in 2023, and he will pick his running mate from Igbo. It will happen. So what will happen is that if a Yoruba person is being touted, maybe there was this news the other day that IBB endorsed Osinbajo for the next president. So if power should shift to the south,
Southwest, that means so they will not be fair to other.
that's what I'm saying. Because
that's
now
what
Goodluck
people are saying,
Jonathan
that
has done
when you
5
talk
years,
about,
Obasanjo has done 8 years. So why wouldn't you cede that power to
because
this?
when you are talking about power
Southeast.
shift, it's not necessarily mean between the north and the south.
No.
People are saying no, there should be a all of that
Geopolitical zones.
Exactly.
Yes. I do not support Turaki Adamawa for the simple reason that I mean, you have had, he has been vice president. Age is no longer on his side. You cannot say because Joe Biden is 76, then you are going to have another gerontocrat in Nigeria. You know, so it's still going to be north, whether it's from northeast, north central, or northwest. It's still going to be north. So why don't the initial arrangement is let power shift between north and south. Now, when it shifts to the south, you now negotiate.
Yes.
Power has come to southwest, 8 years. Power has gone to south, 5 years. Let power go to the southeast, even if it's for 4 years or maximum term of 8 years. Then when it goes to the north again, they can now say somebody has done south northwest. We have had this person, Buhari. We have had what's his name again? Yadua. So let power go to northeast this time around. You understand? That's how the political engineering of a country that is a federal system like ours, with that has multi-ethnic, multi-religious, heterogeneous society like us. That's how they find a creative way to deal with their question of nationality.
And yeah, they are giving everybody a sense
of belonging, so that no agitation about. Look, it is lack of ability to manage this kind of crisis that led to the Tigray agitation in Ethiopia now. The Tigrayans are feeling marginalized and they want out of Ethiopia. Now they have been at war for over 1 year. Thousands of lives have been lost. We shouldn't allow it to get to that. All this in Americano agitation about marginalization, about type of, it will just die a natural death. I recall that ahead of 1999, before that affirmation was done to allow a Yoruba person to succeed, what was the name of them? Abdul Salami Abubakar. The OPC was very strong. The Afenifere was very strong. The what is this other group? Nadeco was very strong to say, look, we want out of Nigeria. This country is not favoring us. So, but when they now eventually agreed that power should shift to the southwest, all those agitation, now what do they would use OPC for? It's just to hire them and make them security guard of many homes and communities. But then they were political. Afenifere was political. Nadeco was political. They want, just like in Kanu is doing, they were like, oh, we want out of Nigeria. You are not the freest election in this country and all of that. But those agitations gradually died down with the emergence of Obasanjo in 1999.
We have to move away from leadership because we really don't have much time on our hands. And we are going over to the next paper for review, and that is Punch newspaper. Punch says 2023 electronic transmission of resource doubtful. 301 local governments lack internet facilities. 2023 electronic transmission of resource doubtful. 301 local governments lack internet facilities. And on the rider, only 473 local governments have internet access. Federal government plans additional 224 local governments by 2023. Experts say satellite technology can cover local governments without internet. INEC can use other platforms where internet is not available, says Oluyode. And from Punch, we are moving over to this day newspaper. And on this day, there has been a breakback between
Obasanjo and Edwin Clark.
So this day is capturing on its headlines this morning. Obasanjo to Clark, oil belongs to Nigeria, not Niger Delta. All those who purchase crude oil from Nigeria enter into contractual relationship with Nigeria, not with the Niger Delta. The territory of Nigeria is indivisible, inclusive of the resources found therein. No territory in Nigeria, including the minerals found therein, belongs to the area of location, and this remains so until the federation is dissolved, so says Obasanjo. So from this day newspaper, we are moving over to our sister publication, National Economy. The National Economy says budget implementation, subsidy removal, orders to shape Nigeria's economy in 2022. What's your view?
Yeah, I mean, there's no saying the fact that issues around budget and subsidy removal will be very, very key in 2022. But before then, there is a news I read yesterday about the president signing the budget on Friday, 31st of December 2020. That's a very funny one. I know why he will sign. Because they want to return Nigeria to January to December
Yes.
Financial cycle. So they don't want that to break. Because if the kind of diligence and attention that was given to electoral amendment bill was to be given to this appropriation bill, I'm sure they will find a lot of loopholes and reasons why it should not sign. But because this one has to do with money, he doesn't want to go into big battle with National Assembly. Because already people are saying that this budget 2022 is padded. You know that there are insinuations to that effect. And then it was jacked up from 16 trillion to 17 trillion now.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you don't have enough. The oil benchmark was also increased to $62 per barrel. Meanwhile, we don't have enough to even fund our budget. So they are jacking it up. So where are they intending to get the money to fund the budget? Through loans. And they are looking at majorly loans. Why? So budget implementation, yes, will play a issue in 2020. But more importantly for me, issue around subsidy. I may be a low ranger. I believe subsidy should go. I believe subsidy should go, but the labor unions are already kicking. They said they will not allow subsidy to go. They want it retained. And you know the federal government is subsidizing two things: electricity and PMS. Now, with these trillions that are being spent on subsidy, is there value for money? For me, why I don't want subsidy to stay is that it's ridden with a lot of fraud. It's fraudulent to the extent that we do not even know how many liters we are importing. And people are making false claims. They will import less, they will collect subsidy on more than they import. Because it's all paperwork. And people are making the country dry. But if we
so many loopholes,
leakages within the system. And my own take is this: if they want to remove the subsidy, it has to be targeted. Let's pray all goes well with the coming on stream of Dangote refinery. If it comes on stream, Dangote refinery is 650,000 metric tons per day. We don't even need that much to run Nigeria economy. So if Dangote comes up in the first quarter of next year. They should just not be in a hurry. It's not that Buhari should make this a new year present for us. It will cause a lot of impact if he does that. He needs to manage it, even if he needs to retain the subsidy till when anytime Dangote refineries come on
They
stream.
don't forget that it's not captured in the budget.
Whether it's covered, even in previous years when it wasn't captured in the budget, NNPC was spending, they were calling it on the recovery. They were still paying. And if they want to formalize it, it's as good as sponsoring a supplementary budget. Do you get it? And what do we even need the money in the budget for? You can trade. You can trade with crude and not pay cash. I don't know if you get my
Yes,
drift.
there was a time during Abacha, they were doing it with construction companies.
Exactly. You just take crude oil for the equivalent of the amount that you want us to pay for it. That is trade by barter. So as at that time, Julius Berger will now lift and go and refine the petrol, make more money than they would even have gotten if we are paid them in cash. So it doesn't have to. But what my own analysis is this: let's study. I'm in support of removal of fuel subsidy, but the government, if this government is not lying, they have said that 3 modular refineries will come on stream in 2022. One in Akwa Ibom, one in Edo, one in is it Cross River or somewhere? So there are 3 modular refineries. Then aside from that, Dangote refinery, where federal government has also bought 20% equity share in that refinery, so as to be able to be on board, and that Dangote should not just look at where he will make more money and sell to those countries than selling for us at all. What he buy from Dangote and the modular refineries will do for us is that it will save for our foreign exchange. Because Dangote, even though Dangote refinery is located in the export processing zone, or what do they call it, DPZ, export processing zone, even though it's located there, we can pay naira to buy PMS. We can also trade with Dangote to say, okay, for the volume, how much do you want to sell it? Okay, I'm selling to Nigeria at 100 naira per liter. Assuming. You can now give him crude oil that will be equivalent to that. So it will give you refined product. Meanwhile, it will make more money. You know why? Because even when he has extracted the PMS that we want, the federal government will buy, he will still be able to sell aviation jets to the airlines from the same source. He will still be able to sell other petrochemical byproduct to other industries. All these polythene bags, those polythene bags, those companies, even this chair now, you see, this is plastic. So those byproducts, they are all from petrochemicals. It is said that there are over 100 byproducts from one crude oil, 1 liter of crude oil. That's what you can get. All these are our body lotion, makeup, cosmetics. All of them are byproducts of petroleum. That's why they call them petroleum jellies. This one that you do baby lotion is petroleum jelly. Vaseline is petroleum jelly. Even lubricant for your car, apart from the one you put in the car, the fuel tank, all those lubricants, engine oil, gear oil, they are all byproducts of crude oil. People don't know that. People thought it's only PMS you can get from a liter of crude oil. You get all the it's different. It takes different level of chemical titration. So it's from the same crude oil you get kerosene. It's from the same crude oil you get diesel. It's from the same crude oil you get aviation jet. It's from the same crude oil you get PMS, that's petrol. It's from the same PMS the same crude. So they will just do titration. So this one you add something else to this one to give you this one. If you add this, it gives you lubricant. If you add this, it gives you engine oil. if you have this, from the same crude oil. So Dangote, we can go into that kind of negotiation to say, we don't have money, we are running deficit budget. Take crude oil, give us refined product. But the moment Dangote comes on stream, we don't need forex to buy from him. All those modular refineries, you will not need forex to buy from them. And that will save us issue of importation, demurrage, transportation from Apapa Wharf to Kaura Namoda to Ilela Border to Makurdi. Those ones will not be there. And if we now are able to fix our pipelines that have been vandalized, it will even reduce trucking. Because you don't need to now truck from Lagos to the hinterland. You just, because there are different depots. There is a depot here in Suleja. There is a depot in Mosimi in Shagamu, close to Shagamu. There is a depot in Ore. There are several depots all over. So you just pipe those PMS you just pipe it to those depots. And that's where trucks will now go and collect. That will reduce travel time, will reduce accidents on our roads, and will also help us save our foreign exchange. So what I'm saying invariably with all this Dogon Trench I've said is that government need to be strategic in the withdrawal of PMA, in the withdrawal of subsidy. I am for subsidy removal, but they will have to do it in such a way that it doesn't cause economic dislocation, because that will create unrest.
Okay, thank you so much for your thoughts on that headline we have on the national economy this morning. Yeah, before we go on, we have this comment from Adebayo Amobi, and he's sharing his comments on the one from leadership newspaper this morning. He says, Mr. Jide Ojo, I love your analysis, sir. However, I believe that what Nigerians deserve is good leadership. A leader who loves to work for the people. It doesn't matter where the leader comes from. Yes.
Yeah, Adebayo, you are right. But it does matter in a federation like ours. Diversity. It will matter, because if you say, okay, one tribe should continue to produce the president of Nigeria, the others will always be marginalized. So it's just to give everybody, and it's in the constitution. It's in the constitution. Section 4 of the constitution talks about federal character to promote national cohesion and national loyalty. It's in the constitution. Adebayo, you can open your constitution or Google it online. Go to section 4 of the constitution. You will see where issue of federal character principle is enshrined, and it is to promote national cohesion and national loyalty. So it does matter where the leader comes from. We can get good leaders from every part of the country, but none should now rub it over the other and say, oh, we are the one God has created to produce Nigerian leaders.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, we are going on the break now, but don't forget, when we come back, we are going to be having a further discussion. As the year wants to include, we want to look at APC government and its corruption fight. Please don't go away.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. Like I said before we went on break, we are going to be having a further discussion on APC government and its anti-corruption fight in 2021 And before we do that, let's take this day newspaper. Can we have this day newspaper? Underneath the this day newspaper this morning says Auditor General of the Federation uncovers 48.4 billion naira extra budgetary spending by agri ministry. That's on this day newspaper this morning. So, Mr. Jide, you did a write-up, a column on that corruption fight in Punch last week. So, what's your opinion?
Just look at this. Auditor General 48.4 billion extra budgetary spending in one ministry.
Yes.
Just one. Extra budgetary spending. Do you know that is criminal? Because whatever is not in the budget, you are not supposed to spend. That's the old, but people like us have said this time and again. This budget stuff is just hollow ritual. It is observed in breach. Otherwise, how can a ministry spend 48 billion extra budgetary? Extra budgetary means it's not even provided for in the budget.
So where did they not get the money?
How did they get the money? Where did they get the money from? Was there any supplementary budget this year? So sometimes, Winifred, this entire me, as they say in local parlance, the issue of corruption is that this government, much as it tried, it's just still scratching the surface. With all the over 27 anti-corruption agencies we have in Nigeria, corruption is still festering. If you go by what the Auditor General has said about in its 2019 audit report, this one we are citing from this day is not even about 2019 audit report. The one I think it was talking about lack of receipt or evidence of payment of about 4.9 trillion. 2019. No traces. Money spent, no receipt, no evidence of payment. 4.9 trillion. I think I did about a couple of months back. I did a column on that Auditor General's report on the NDAs. Last week, the one you are referencing last week was the one I did on ICPC review or system review that also shows how corruption takes place within the ministries, departments, and agencies through their systems review and all of that. And you could see humongous sums of money that are still spent without receipt. But I think I weigh in on an issue, even the National Assembly. I think it was on Atlantic television network, Port Harcourt, that I weigh in on the issue a couple of Saturdays back. 5.8 billion that has no traces of the expenses in the National Assembly. Money spent, no receipt, no evidence of payment. 5.8 billion. National Assembly. Also revealed by Auditor General. This is why they don't want to strengthen the Auditor General's office. Did you know, Winifred, that we are still using 1956 Ordinance Law to fight corruption in Nigeria? 1956. Before independence. That's the law that Auditor General is still using. Pre-colonial law that Auditor General of Nigeria is still using to fight corruption. And in spite of that limitation, in many states, Auditor General's office is in a rented apartment. Before they get the one their office in Abuja, it was in one small apartment somewhere many years ago. But ask National Assembly, why have you not done the needful in reviewing this audit law of 1956? They just killed it in view. Because they know they are the culprits. They are the people that will collect money without any receipt. Did you know that even if you collect interest, you are supposed to retire that interest?
Yes, you're supposed to. You're supposed to.
But people collect interest and take it as if that is what is obtainable, my sister. But when people collect interest here, it's like they have given them that. They don't even account for it. I said 5.8 billion, National Assembly. revealed by Auditor General that there were no receipts, evidence of payment, and this money was paid out. Of course, obviously, to lawmakers who just collect, they will sign for it, but that's where it is. Because even if you buy periodicals, newspapers, you are supposed to get receipt from your vendor to cover whatever newspaper you supply. But here, and that's why when many Nigerians castigate National Assembly as a cesspool of corruption, the leadership is quick to say people are uncharitable. That when early this month, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, came out to say people greatly misunderstood National Assembly, that a senator take home is about 1 million naira, and that the money people say that they take is like 30 million naira for a quarter. And do they retire this money, that this quarterly allowances? Is it for them to just sign off, no receipt of what they did with the money? Because if the money is for fueling, my background in civil society, our drivers, when I was doing 8 to 5, my 8 to 5 work, our drivers, when they buy fuel, they get receipt. It's me that don't need receipt for buying fuel for my car. But for drivers in private organizations, you have to get receipt. You cannot by word of mouth say, I bought full tank. And how much is full tank? 20 liters. No. Where is the evidence that you bought 20 liters? And that's the kind of fraud that takes place. People who buy fuel today, they will siphon the fuel and say tomorrow that full tank has finished. They will go back and collect another full tank where they have fuel dump. You know, there are ministries, and agencies, some of them that have fuel dump. Fuel dump is, you have fuel station within your office. Some drivers, when they get full tank today, they will just go my time and go, they will say full tank don't finish. Meanwhile, what they do is they siphon it out, sell it, or put it in their private vehicle. Since it's government vehicle, they just go. And that's little, I was on the platform recently, I talked about the level of retail corruption in Nigeria is even much more than the political corruption we talk about. Because everybody is on the game. Everybody is on the game. And when you look at NCPC report that I wrote on last week, it was talking about all manner of shady deals that takes place within the ministries, department, and agency, running into billions. How people just make cool money. The other day, it was revealed by Punch newspaper, November 29, 2021 edition of Punch newspaper, how there is a syndicate in the Ministry of Justice that sells assets, recovered assets, and put the money in their pocket. And that is the office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice that is supposed to help in the fight against corruption, that is supposed to coordinate anti-corruption agencies. November 1929, I'm quoting the date, is available online. People can Google. Punch newspaper revealed that there is a syndicate in the Ministry of Justice. They even mentioned indirectly names of certain individuals who are members of a committee, who are they will just do altars based on certain things, and they will sell it off. Billions, property worth billions of naira, they will sell it off like scrap and pocket the money. The money doesn't even go to the account of the federal government. How many can one talk about corruption that goes on? So I'm not too excited about the anti-corruption war of this because all of this is happening under the same administration that claims since 2015 that they are fighting corruption.
I think that was the mantra they used to.
NDDC. You are from Niger Delta. NDDC forensic audit. What did it reveal? Up till now, the report is not in the public domain. Civil society organizations have said, please let us have this report so that we know Senator this, Honorable that, or Chairman that, how much is he expected to refund? All those indicted, nobody knows. It's still, as of today, almost 4 months after that audit report was submitted, everything still in the realm of speculation. And I said, when I wrote that article some months back, I said, look, this thing, if it's not in public domain, for people to follow through, it will end up being like Ojuju Calabar. You know, people will just say like a Abacha video. Come and see, come and see. He sponsored a coup. He was part of the coup. People were doing how they participated in the coup. So they will just bring them from it. I saw the video. So that's what it has become a circus show. It has become a circus show. When did you see all this report? It was done by public fund. Yes. The forensic auditors have finished their work. 4 months down the line, let's have, even if it's a summary of that report. Nobody is saying, I'm not interested in all those tons and tons of paper. But there will be an executive summary. X people or companies are expected to refund XYZ within the so-called this period of time. So if you don't pay, we know who to hold his feet to fire. But situation where you turn into a circus show, everything is in the realm of speculation. You say, oh, this senator got X number of contracts.
Started in the national during
the public hearing of your mind. When we had the of your mind. It's Gospel Fabio that said it now. He said, look, you people are probing us. Are you not the primary beneficiaries? Are you not the main contractors of this? So off your mic, off your mic. Since that time now, what has happened? The audit report, nobody has seen it. It has been done to Ojuju Calabar. So everybody who's coming to say, come and say Ojuju, come and say Ojuju. Something like, let's be sincere. You see, you cannot fight corruption with opacity. You can only fight corruption with transparency. And that's why it's very important. This administration, I'm not saying they are not trying. The anti-corruption agencies have made their level there. But even the laws are not supportive. There are 3 laws that is very key that should have been passed like yesterday, which is still gathering dust at the National Assembly. Process of crime law is still there. The whistleblower protection law is still in the National Assembly. The Auditor General audit law of Nigeria. These 3 bills, if they were to pass, if the 29th National Assembly were to pass these 3 bills, it will help aid in the fight against corruption. Do you know? Now, we don't have asset recovery management law. We don't have it. So, every anti-corruption agencies work in silos. EFCC would have its own register of what it has recovered from who and all of that. Police will have their own.
Deputy NSCDC woman who 60 houses were seized from.
Oh, okay. It's a deputy. It's from the NCDC.
Yes.
NSCDC. That ICPC chairman said one person has 60.
I think they are forfeited to the federal government.
Interim forfeiture. I think I missed the story.
It was in court.
Imagine.
60.
NSCDC. What is the budget of NSCDC? So if you go police.
That she duped many people.
See. So if a woman and a woman
was going to give them
that's the Tanzanian's cousin. The truth has to be said. If we don't fight corruption, this country is going to. The issue around electoral amendment bill is about corruption.
Yes.
Some people don't want the status quo to change because it will aid and abet them to continue to do the business as usual. They know with electronic transmission of results, with electronic voting, it will reduce if not totally exterminate electoral fraud.
Yes.
But it will not pay them because they want the status quo to remain. And that's what I said on Ray Power this morning when they asked me on the political platform about my take on all this hula baloo about the president withholding assent. I said, how are we so sure that it's not orchestrated by APC so that there will be no electoral reform, so that they can retain the presidency in 2023? Because it pays them for the situation to remain like this. Is that not what they came up with in 2018? 4 different occasions, the president refused to sign. The first time it was like this, because of 3 clauses, section plus 25 of the electoral bill 2018 and 2 others. The president withheld assent. Oh, we say, oh, okay, why did you do it this way? Oh yeah, quick. The next thing, we start seeing clerical errors. The president, oh, I cannot send this. There is a lot of incompetence and clerical errors. They sent it back. Then the clerical errors still remain. 3rd occasion. By the time they fix all the clerical errors and all of that, they said it's too close to the 2019 election. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's why politicians, I don't trust them. That's why I have joined the conspiracy theories. Because I give this president benefit of that no matter what, he will want to put his name on the right side of history by signing. And you can get them to amend after. Because there are 158 provisions in this electoral bill that they want to throw away. 158 provisions because of one, you said. As if these primaries will hold tomorrow. The primaries will not hold until about 3rd quarter of next year. So why can't you sign and invite the leadership of National Assembly and say, my people, we are one government. Please, I want section 87 of the Electoral Act to be amended. Please reinstate issue of indirect primary. They will listen to you. They will listen to you as the father of the party, as the leader of the party. But the president rather chose. So you will see what will happen. By the time they come back in January 18, they say, you know what, they will dilly-dally. Then by the time they will put another stamp. It will be also clerical error. They will insert. They will say, oh, where did this come? They will say there are different versions. Because all they are working towards, and these are cross-party lines. It's not about APC alone. It's because the current beneficiaries of this fraudulent system does not want anything to change. They want it to be. I've ceased to believe politicians.
Status quo to remain.
Because it pays them. Look at the shenanigans that took place in 2019, where people are being copy was sent to him on less than 1 week. To be able to know where the has been. But he will sign because it has to do. He will sign, and then you start hearing civil society talking about, oh, too many duplicated projects to the tune of 200 billion. We are now used to those figures. It doesn't really matter anymore. Where do we go from here? Happy New Year, my beautiful sister.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you.
Same with me. I pray that we all cross over to 2020. I think better year for me, but it will be better. That's our living. That's what is living your life now.
Well, guys, tomorrow is another day inside Nigeria. Don't forget to tune in. Let's go. Come to an end on today's program. I remain being
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.